he got sick later on in his life, and Arsenio, MS, and Arsenio was probably one of no one that.
Oh, this town is brutal when you can't pull in commissions no more. By the way, Jack, he talked about authenticity. I took Richard to an awards show near the end of his life, and he had a little cart that he could ride, and he wanted to walk out and wave to the audience during a commercial. And he walked out, and I think it was the Shrine, one of those big rooms, and he waves, and a lady says, "We love you, Richard." And Richard, not too long before he passed away, looked up in the audience and said, "What's up, my dick then?"
And had it right to the end.
To the end, he was funny. He was Richard.
But he was trapped in that horrible, cell of a sick body. But he used to go visit him at his house, watch TV, create.
Well, I like to watch TV.
Yeah.
So I would just, instead of sitting at home, I would go spend the days with Richard, and we'd watch TV. And Richard would talk about comedians. Like one time we were watching a show where Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey were teachers. And Richard looked and he said, "That guy right there kind of looked like me, don't you think?"
Steve.
Yeah. And I said, "Yeah, he does look like you." Back when Steve had a fro.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, Steve could play you. He does look like you." And he said, "I think I met him once." And I said, "I went to college with him. I can find him if you want to talk." He said, I enjoyed talking to him. I would love to talk to him." And I went and spent the next day looking for Steve. And I found Steve. Back then we had limos. I put Steve in my limo, took him to Richard's, and Steve sat for 6 hours talking to Richard and laughing and having fun. And so the next day when we're watching TV, I said, "If there are any of your old friends that you missed that you want to talk to, I'll find that motherfucker. Let me know." And I'll, because I ain't got no job. I can be your own Barnaby Jones. And he said, "I miss Brother Quincy." He paused for a while, and we're watching it, and he turns, just out of the blue, he said, "I miss Brother Quincy." And I said, "Quincy Jones?" And he said, "Yeah, I love Quincy." I went and found Quincy. I put it took a week to arrange a day. Picked Quincy up, took Quincy to Richard's house. They had a ball laughing and talking. And that I just stayed out of because they were talking about an era that I don't know nothing about, the time Miles did what they were talking about.
Miles Davis.
Yeah. So they were having a great time talking. And I loved Richard, man. Richard, when I was a young comic, I never could offer Richard anything. I mean, he was the greatest to ever do it. He had plenty of money. And one time when you and we would hang out that back door and watch Richard, and he said to me, he said, "I'm going to direct a movie called JoJo Dancing. And white folks have interns and people come and learn the film business. So why don't you come? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but watch me, and you might learn what to do and what not to do." And he had me come to the set of JoJo Dancer every day and watch him, everything he did, So, I don't want to get caught up, but Richard was a great dude, man.
No, go.
He was a great dude.
You get emotional?
Yeah, because there's sides of Richard that people don't know, man. And he was a
the
good
most
dude.
surprising?
But the most important thing is hold on to your loved ones and find people who really care about you. Because in this town, it's about that bag. And when the bags stop coming, some of your friends will stop coming.
Was his family not there? Kids and stuff?
I don't know, man.
Don't say anything.
I know,
about it.
yeah. I know I would call Jennifer.
That's his wife.
Yeah, I would call Jennifer because I would try to be respectful so I get permission to go by. Because one time I jumped over the fence, and that probably wasn't the way to say hi to Richard.
Why'd you do that?
Because nobody had answered the phone, and Jennifer wasn't there, and I didn't have her. So I finally got a number where I could find her, but I almost got beat up by a housekeeper that day because I didn't know. I knew Richard was there, and
Can you talk about the party you did? If you say no, that's okay. You don't want to say that.
I do have some good stuff for the book, don't I?
Your book, let's talk about that. So you're doing a memoir.
Well, but you know, no, we don't have to.
No, but
no business, man. I know what you want me to tell. One time, I called Jennifer, and I said, Richard wants a cigar, and she said, one, just one, Arsenio. I said, okay. So I get him a great cigar, and I said, oh, and I got some dancers with me. and she said, what do you mean? I said, you know, some stripper type dancers, and they got cigars too. So I went, and me and Richard had a party.
That's amazing. I mean, you are such a good guy with such a good
heart.
I
brought strippers. I'm just a lecherous asshole who likes cigars and hoes. No, I'm just
But you're not Bow Wow. But the truth of the matter is that, you know, he was, and makes me feel bad, you know, he was alone. He was alone. Nobody was, like, there was so much of his life he could have done that on his own. When he could no longer do that on his own, when he could no longer party like that, when the lights were dim, he wasn't making money, or the bags, as you call it. Yeah. People weren't showing up. Just you. Mostly just you. I'm sure there was a couple of other people that did, but I mean, the fact that when somebody moves
that's why I took people, because I realized once you ask somebody, who do you miss? They tell you. And you realize some of those people don't know what Richard's doing or that he might be lonely, because we move on with our lives. And I got to bring people that Richard wanted to see. And that gave me purpose. It made me feel good.